WarGames is in the books, and this is my one take, one shot WarGames review where I do it immediately following, well, WarGames, and I give you my gut reaction, my visceral thoughts on what just went down. Can't listen to other YouTubers, gotta tell you what I think the moment the show is done. And I'm gonna tell you what I thought was this was a really good PLE. Do yourself a favor and watch it. You can watch it beginning to end and it will be top tier. This was amazing. But if you only have time for two matches, the John Cena match and the men's WarGames matchup, those are the two to watch. But Stephanie Fakir and Nikki Bella, they had the undesirable spot to follow John Cena's second to last match of all time, and they even got the crowd into it. They did a good job. And the women's WarGames match, while I do think it had some issues here and there, it was pretty decent too. And then the WarGames, the men's match was, holy cow, that was a car crash from the moment it started to all the way at the end. And it was fan-freaking-tastic. Go do yourself a favor. Watch this PLE. So good. The women's WarGames match, that's how we start off with. We start off with, I am going to nitpick this one because almost everything was perfect in this show. Almost everything was perfect. Not necessarily what I would have done here and there, but don't matter. Still really good stuff. Like, I would have had Nikki Bella win, to tell you the truth, but she didn't. No problem. Stephanie Fakir, you're building up Stephanie's resume, making her a strong champion. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. We're establishing a new main eventer with Stephanie. But with the women's WarGames match, I thought it was a little like weird. Like, we start off with Charlotte and Asuka, and while they have great chemistry, we just had that match literally yesterday on SmackDown. So for them to be the first two, I thought that was weird. And then I figured, okay, well, the women, the faces, they have the advantage. That's kind of weird because it's always better when, to me, it's always better when the heels have the advantage. So I thought, okay, well, obviously we're bringing out Lash Legend or Nia Jax to start off with because, well, those are heels that could take on two people at once. But no, Asuka, Charlotte. And then I'm like, okay, well, I guess then the logical choice is Alexa Bliss comes out next because they're a tag team. And then Io Sky then comes out. So just some things that I'm just like, that's a little bit of a head scratcher. And they're like, well, it makes sense because Io Sky wants to get her hands on Asuka. Well, then why didn't Asuka and Io Sky start? Why didn't they start the matchup? So yeah, just a little weird, but it didn't ruin it. I just thought it could have been better. But see, at the men's WarGames, they did it perfect. They brought out everybody in a very logical order that I thought it was great, and I thought it added to the story that the men's WarGames were telling. But it was just kind of like, I don't know, it didn't, the way that people came out here didn't add to the women's WarGames, if that makes sense. But the matchup itself was fine. Io did jump off the cage. I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of phone calls during this match from my job, so like maybe that's what kind of took me out of it. It's just but I did go back and kind of watch it, and yeah, and then my stream actually froze. I was so mad that took me out of it too. But I went back and watched, like when Lash Legend came in, she was like the last person. I really don't think she should have been the last person. It's just like, she did come out on fire and it was good, but I think we could have gave her more. Again, you go back to the men's WarGames, and you have Braun Breaker. He starts off the whole thing, and it was the Braun Breaker show pretty much throughout the entire WarGames, and it really elevated him, in my opinion. And I think they should have done that with Lash Legend here. Instead of giving her like just the number 5 spot, let's give her a lot of moments in the match. Throughout the entire match, give her a lot of moments. Now, I understand maybe they were afraid, oh, well, what if she chokes being her first time in a huge match? But I would have made her at least number 2 or 3. Some people in the chat told me that Lash Legend didn't get any reaction, and I think that sucks. But like, I don't think that's a bad thing either, because if you think about it, Lash just got to the main roster. They only really showed her one time on Raw being a dominant force. Otherwise, she was always getting lost in the group itself. So I don't think the crowd just knew who she was, honestly. Plus, the fifth person is always kind of like, you know, if you look at the fifth person on the men's team, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and then you give a rookie the fifth spot on the women's team, kind of not fair. Kind of not fair to Lash Legend, in my opinion. But overall, good stuff here. I was kind of hoping for more dissension between Rhea and Charlotte. Again, look at the men's. We had dissension between Cody, of all people, and CM Punk. The ultimate Boy Scout is having dissension on his team, but Rhea and Charlotte aren't? You know, and you might be saying you can't just compare it to the men's WarGames match. Why not? Why not? Why can't I compare it? One was good and one was not as good. I'm not saying it wasn't good. Like, dear God, if I ever say something that I enjoyed isn't like the greatest thing of all time, people are like, why'd you hate it? I didn't hate it. It was an okay WarGames match, but if they had structured it a little different and did a couple things different here and there, it would have been better. Now, I am going to say that I loved Becky Lynch in this, not just because she's the best in the world, and that's not me saying it. That's Sports Illustrated, people. Becky Lynch was great throughout this entire show. Plus, she took the submission, which I am shocked. We're on a team where you have Kairi Sane on that could easily eat the pin, and you have Lash Legend, a rookie, who I wouldn't have been surprised if they let her eat the pin. But no, they let Becky Lynch eat the pin from AJ Lee. So I was very, very shocked by that happening. But that just shows that Becky is so comfortable in her character work that she's like, I'll take the pin. Well, I'll take the submission. I don't care. You know, so it protected everybody else. And Becky has one of the best characters. Becky and Asuka, they have the two best characters, and they can survive the losses. So, like, kudos to the best in the world. Great matchup right here. Someone said that Io was injured. I don't know, though. I don't know. I hope she's not. I know it's cool and great for Io to jump off the cage in a garbage can, but please, Io, just stop. Just stop. We don't need it. I want you to just wrestle. Be safe. Just be safe. I said that in the chat, and someone was like, oh, she's a professional. Man, Liv Morgan blew out her shoulder on what was it a hip toss? It was something. I can't remember what it was, but it's like, professional or not, stuff happens, which is a good segue to the next matchup right here. So overall, the women's WarGames match, I would probably give it a solid BB minus. And it might have the unfair. Advantage. The unfair. I don't know. Handicap. No, I can't say that. Handicap's a bad word. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it. I don't know. I don't mean. One take, one shot. It might have the unfair placement of following yesteryear's WarGames. Women WarGames matches in the past have usually outshined the men's. And so, like, this one stacked up to the others, it just wasn't as good, but that's fine. You're never always gonna be. If you got a B minus, that's still a good job. I give the women's WarGames match a B minus, but the next match, A+. Dominic Mysterio versus John Cena, the Unseen 17. Wow, this was such a good match. And it was cool. They come out with Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, and they get involved. How cool is it for those two to be punching John Cena, be doing pop rocks to John Cena, doing your move to John Cena? Like, that's so cool. And then there was this one spot, they got me. They so got me. Dominic does a hurricanrana off the barricade, bury the barricade, shout out to Simon Miller, and he lands hard on his shoulder. It's like, holy cow, shades of Penta, like last Monday or 2 Mondays ago, and it looks like it needs to stop. The match looks like it needs to stop. And then Roxanne and Raquel, they get in there. I think they're buying time. I'm like, this is bad. I say, you know what? Call off the match. I'm more worried about Dominic, the human being, than this matchup, even if it is John Cena's second to last match. I'm like, just have Finn Balor come out and fight him or something if we gotta kill time, if we don't want John Cena's match to end like this. But then after the ladies attack John, and John eats all of their moves, he's in the 619 position, and Dom just gets up and he does a 619. Dom got me. I thought he was legit 100% injured. I could not believe it. I have not been gotten like that, I don't know, in a very, very long time. And then so Dom, he doesn't get to win though. The referee is like, no way, I saw that. He kicks those two out. I didn't like that. He kicks those two out. And the match continues. He almost got the pin, by the way, and it was like, ooh. At this point, I'm back to rooting for John. I'm rooting for Dom. I don't know who I want to win. I want them both to win. I want them both to win. I want them both to lose. It's just great. The match is so freaking good. This was wrestling. This, to me, is the epitome of wrestling. I would show this match to non-wrestling fans. This is so good. So good. Eventually, the ref will get knocked out. The Judgment Day of Finn and Finn and who's the big head guy, JD McDonough, they come out, and John Cena is able to thwart them. He stacks them and does double AA. What a dude. This is the dude that says his body is wearing down. He has to retire before totally gives up on him. He's AAing a guy on top of a guy. Whoa! So John Cena then, he's just fighting, right? He's just fighting, and it's like, okay, I think he got the visual pin on Dominic Mysterio, but then Liv Morgan music hits. Oh my gosh, Liv Morgan's back. She slaps Dirty Dom. She looks at John Cena, and John's like, well, I don't know. She jumps and hugs John Cena. We get the camera shot of her face, and she's happy, but then she does the John Cena heel turn face from back at Elimination Chamber. They're doing a callback of John Cena's heel turn. She turns heel, kicks John Cena in his little Cenas, and that will then allow Dominic to actually win pinfall 1, 2, 3. Dirty Dom, Intercontinental Champion. John Cena loses, putting over talent that is under 30 years old, and Liv Morgan embraces Dom, and she's like, we're so back, baby. We're so back, and yes, so good. So freaking good. John Cena then gets that moment. They play his music, and he says, thank you, crowd. Love you, crowd. So good. Now, some people are like, well, that means the last person he beats now, his last match is meaningless. Not really. This just means his last match. What if he doesn't lose his last match now? And that means Dominic gets the last pinfall on John. So now the last match actually has way different stakes at it. And I'm not talking medium rare. I'm talking if Gunther wins, or he gets the opportunity to fight John Cena, he could now lose, and that would then further put over Dominic Mysterio. Like, whoa, John Cena might actually win his final match now because he just put over Dom. Anybody can fight him now. So that's crazy. That's a wrinkle right there. And then we go to Stephanie Vakir versus Nikki Bella. And I was like, oh man, that's a hard match to follow. That's a hard act to follow. I thought the crowd was going to be dead and exhausted, but they weren't. Good for you, San Diego. You showed up tonight. Appreciate and love you for that. And it wasn't just the normal standard chants of Roman Reigns, Roman. No, it was just a crowd having fun. More San Diego in our lives, please. Teddy Boy Ward, you guys had you rocked it out. But yeah, so I don't know if I just went blurry because my TV's just died on me, but like I'm gonna continue. If I'm blurry, don't worry, it'll go away. Probably more attractive this way. But yeah, so Nikki Bella's playing the heel. At one point, I think Nikki Bella might have got gassed at the end. She was like, but I thought it was a good match. I thought it did its job. I was hoping for twin magic to happen where Brie Bella switched and won, but it's fine. It's whatever. Stephanie looked good in the process. I really hope we can draw out some of Stephanie Fakir's character now. I want her to be a character in feuds, not just someone who's a great wrestler. She's a great wrestler, but I need character work. So now we're over the honeymoon period. It's time to get to work and fleshing out who Stephanie is. But this was a good match. Nikki Bella did great. I wonder where we go with Nikki Bella from here, because she's now lost to Asuka in an exhibition match, an intercontinental match with Becky Lynch, and now even the big match for the title. So, like, what do we do with Nikki? Unless she's just leaving. Maybe it was just a little run and now she's gonna bounce, or maybe we see her again at Royal Rumble. Either way, Nikki Bella doing a great job. I appreciate Nikki Bella being a veteran, coming back and being on the road with everyone. A lot of people want to trash on Nikki, but I'm actually finding some newfound respect for how she's treating the business. So now let's go to the men's war games, where there's a bunch of part-timers, but like everyone showed up tonight. First off, I am shocked, absolutely shocked, that CM Punk went in first. You know, here's a 46, 47-year-old dude that's saying, I'll go in first, and his opponent is going to be Braun Breaker. Wow. I understand why Punk wanted to go in first, because he wanted to show that he was team captain, and then they send out Braun Breaker, so it's like they're sending in this young, like, stallion to go and just maul Punk, and it kind of did. And so he's beating him down, and then what happens? Drew freaking McIntyre, the guy he went to war with last year, is the next one in, and they just murdered him for like 6 minutes. It was like, oh my God. But then Cody comes out after that, and Cody makes logical sense, because you'd think it would be the Usos, right? But no, Cody and Punk, they want to prove that they're QB1, QB2, whatever QB. I don't know, football's fake, right? So I don't know. But yeah, we have Cody then comes out, and Cody accidentally hits Punk with an elbow, and those two are kind of beefing, and they're just getting beat up. Then we get Logan Paul. Logan Paul, I'm not gonna lie, he was a little lost throughout this matchup. You know, we got to remember, how many matches has he ever had? He hasn't had that many still. So, like, he was kind of lost. But he did, when he needed to do his thing, he did his thing. But it was apparent when you did kind of catch him on camera, he didn't know what to do. But it didn't take away from the matchup. But then we go to, who came out next? Was it Bronson? No. Then we get Jimmy Uso. Then we get Bronson Reed. And Bronson Reed just like, tsunami. They're just murdering people. 1 point, though, they did a doomsday device, Cody and Punk on Braun Breaker, and he landed hard on his neck. Thank God he didn't die. It looked bad. But Braun Breaker just kept just being the star performance here. Jay comes out. I didn't like this. Jay's in the middle of the War Games, and he says, let's run it back, and he starts eating, and it's like, sorry, my phone's going off. Like, why would you do that? He wasted his 3-minute advantage, or not 3-minute advantage, but he wasted his 3 minutes of just everybody on the same level to just yeet. I thought that was ridiculous. Someone like Punk should have just been like, get down here and start beating people up. Because then we get Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar comes out and just murders everyone. That's the theme. The good guy's getting murdered. Brock Lesnar murders people. F5s everyone. Then we get Roman. Brock goes to the steps, waits for Roman. He gets down. The match hasn't officially started, so Brock isn't getting disqualified, because if you leave the cage, you get disqualified. And then they start fighting in the aisleway. Superman punch. Caught ya into the announce table, thrown back in the cage, and then it's beat down. It's pandemonium. It's crazy. Punk is bleeding in the first 6 minutes. Cody's bleeding in the first 8 minutes. We stack Cody on top of Punk, on top of Brock Lesnar. We get a jump from Logan Paul. Brass knuckles are in. They get taken away. Superman punch. Just everything's cool. Everything's great. And then at some point, Braun Breaker's back up and dominating. Brock Lesnar did get like beat up. He was about to F5J, and he gets speared through a table by Roman. But eventually it comes down to kind of like Braun Breaker and CM Punk. But a mystery person climbs the cage. They're completely decked out in everybody's favorite black hoodie, but the face is decked out too. We get a super kick and then a curb stomp. So it's like, is that Seth freaking Rollins, the Ruse of the Century Part 2? And it's like, ooh, what is going on here? And then he climbs out. They climb out. Nobody knows what's happening. But Braun Breaker then just does a spear. 1, 2, 3. They win. They pin. Braun Breaker pins CM Punk. We don't know who this person is. Wade Barrett is like, I know for a fact that Seth just got surgery. It can't be Seth. So I don't know. Up is down, down is up. We don't know who that was, who that is. So I don't think it was Jacob Fatu. He was like kind of like a little skinnier, but it could have been Sammy. Someone said Sammy. It could have been. It had like that. So I don't know. I don't know who could have been. Could have been Trick Williams. We'll see. We shall see. Could be Austin Theory too. So I don't know, but this was great stuff here. They did linger though on Roman Reigns, and he helped CM Punk up. He actually helped CM Punk up, and they kind of, I think they fist bumped or not, but there was definitely respect there. And then he does say to Cody, "This is the last time we're ever teaming up, you and me." And Cody's kind of getting in his face. I really think they should have ended the PLE on just the bad guys standing tall, because I kept thinking that Cody was going to do something or Roman was going to do something. And so when they just separated and didn't do nothing, it was that actually made it a little anticlimactic. But if they would have just ended it and not shown Roman, and is Roman going to do it? Come on, Roman, punch him in the face. If they wouldn't have shown that would have been better. But it didn't ruin nothing. The bad guys won. Bad guys should have won. I think the bad guys should have won also with the women's war games. I'm going to give this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for sure. 8 for sure. The fact that I think the war games of the women's was structured a little wrong and the wrong winner. And the fact that there weren't a lot of there was not story going into this war games. That really hindered things. 8 or 9. Oh, it's such good. I enjoyed it. I'm just gonna give it a 9. Who cares? Fine, 9 because it was just complete pandemonium. The men's war games and the John Cena match, just thought those were such brilliant matches that I'm actually gonna give it a 9. But the lack of story definitely, I could have been so much better. This definitely should have been a 10 PLE if they would have just given it more time and more storytelling. But good stuff. 9's nothing to cry about. So good stuff. All right, boys. All right, girls, go leave a hot take. Let me know some hot takes for tomorrow, and we'll do them for the war games. Hot takes. How many times I gotta say hot take? See you, bye. 4 yawns, I think.